Are we live? Looks like we're live, huh? How's everybody doing? Can we start off properly getting a nice little spade of Denver sucks in the chat? Be fantastic. Welcome, welcome. This is Observers Live number 2. And we are going to start with the only real significant science update since we last spoke. Leslie, thank you for the teal pair starting us off the right way. Could we get some more teal pairs? That'd be lovely. Anyway, there's really only one big piece of science news to update, and that is the changes to Earth's magnetic field over the last 11 years. So we're going to discuss that. And then I am happy to just shoot right into the Q&As today. So, yeah, sounds good. I will also mention today marks 1 week left in the month. That means if you are doing September cut month with us, last week, dial it in. Finish strong, everybody. Can't wait to see those results and hear about some of those results. Jeff Grimes, thank you for that teal pair. Jess, thank you. It's always good to see you here. All right, so, of course, the big story scientifically since we last spoke, paper came out showing the changes in the core magnetic field, Earth's magnetic field, over the last 11 years. There were actually several interesting bits. One of the ones I thought was actually pretty interesting, Sparrow, thank you very much for that teal pair. They had shown how the crustal magnetic fields were weakening and how that had actually taken place most of all in the southern Pacific Ocean, which it's peculiar to say the least. Not really the most interesting or exciting magnetic node on the planet. Michelle, thank you for that one. Appreciate that. But the biggest story was the fact that they had in very easy to see, nice colored contour maps, the change in Earth's magnetic field from 2014 to 2025. And that is, it really couldn't have been more obvious to the eye just seeing it. The South Atlantic anomaly has really ballooned in size. It has deepened as well. The last remaining strong magnetic node over North America is now gone. The Siberian lobe has strengthened a tiny little bit, is the only place in the world that is strengthening. That is, of course, because magnetic north is moving directly towards it. And even the area surrounding the South Magnetic Pole has weakened slightly. Overall, it looks like we probably lost about 8% of Earth's magnetic field over that time period, which should probably put us somewhere close to 30% down in Earth's magnetic field, which is basically what I've been guessing most of the year anyway. So whether you were looking for something, and I guess technically this isn't really, well, I mean, it hasn't been officially stated in the normal way these things are usually stated. Laureen, by the way, thank you very much for that. That's cute. It's a teal pear and a lemon. But this is some of the big names in geomagnetism on this paper. For those of you who are paper hawks like I am, go check it out. Some of the top names in the field were on this one, including Finlay. And pretty reputable journal. This is something that every scientist who does work on this in the entire world has already seen. They've already looked at it. Some of the top in the world have peer reviewed this, and that's why it got published. So I suppose one could say, Anna, thank you very much. Appreciate that. One could say that the drought, the 15-year drought of having absolutely no real updates on Earth's magnetic field strength has ended. Now, they didn't give us like an official number and say Earth's magnetic field has lost this much since it started really picking up this weakening back in the middle of the 1800s. But we can extrapolate that based on, it's almost like they didn't go that last mile and simplify it into an easy to understand sentence. I did that for you. I'll take it. You know, if they're going to give us this and they're just like, we don't want to say the last sentence, I'll do it. I don't care. I'll do it. I know every word of that paper. I know every single thing that they did in there. I understand everything, every sentence. I got you. Tell me you won't take that over nothing at all. It's not like I'm not going to see the paper. It's me. I'm going to find the paper when it comes out. I mean, aren't you glad? Like, this is way better than nothing, right? George, I love it. Flying Superman teal pair. Jim Tracy, that looks like someone's middle-aged aunt popping out of a cloud, but you know what? I kind of like it. Bob says, saw the Matt Bell interview. Limitless was great, wasn't it? You didn't hit on timeline for civil unrest. Was that intentional? That's my immediate concern when they catch on. To be honest, I can't believe there's not civil unrest right now, but I hear what you're saying, and it's a legitimate concern. Undercover Bird, it was so nice to see you on Saturday. I hope you're still around for this coming weekend, Founders Weekend at the ranch. It's going to be good. Anyway, I got a little distracted there, but we're back, and what are we talking about? Oh, yes, the imminent demise of our planet and way of life. So yeah, Earth's magnetic field is pretty much down now 30%. I'm really confident in calling that number. It was a confident guess I've been making all year, actually since the middle of last year, but I would have to say that now I'm very confident in that number. What is that? PPS says 30% doesn't surprise me at all. North America is in for stronger light shows and more grid sensitivity sooner. Denver sucks. To all of that out, absolutely. But yeah, I guess I didn't look to see if you guys are agreeing with me that this is a good thing. Are you guys agreeing with me? Like, if they're willing to give us all of this data, and they're just like, we don't make us say it. Okay, I'll say it. Like, this is better, right, than nothing? Because I've been sick of nothing for the last 15 years. Anyway, I suppose we shall open it up for questions now, as the worst of all things is once again corroborated, confirmed, and we all just sort of enjoy the long spiral downward. Will the documentary be available in multiple languages? Jeez, that's a great question. I have no idea. I'll tell you this, that's certainly not my department. That's certainly not my department. I have absolutely no idea. Fair enough. I'll ask. Okay? How about that? I'll ask. Just paid for 2 more weeks. Oh, hooray. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I will see you weekend after weekend because I'm going to be there quite a bit here the remainder of the year. Poo-poo caca. That's... You literally didn't write anything, so I had to focus on your username, which is poo-poo caca. Absolutely preposterous. You kind of look cute in that picture, but whatever. I bet you have bare feet right now. I don't, actually. It's cold. Fall hit right on time. Right on time here in Colorado. Right on time. Bet you have bare feet. Oh my God, you are the same person who posts about feet all the time. That's you. Oi. My father-in-law would have said, yeah. You're some kind of scientific gangster. You know what? That's one way to put it. Jim Rat, astrophysicist, I'll take it. Why not? I kind of like it, though. I wouldn't have it any other way. Sam says, do you think the goings-on in the world at the moment are a direct reflection to our current magnetic state? In a way, yes. Granted, a lot of it is being pushed along intentionally and has to do with more than just Earth's magnetic field. The fact that the people who run this planet and run the media are absolutely satanic is not helpful at all. But yes, this is precisely what one would expect, and it's the whole never let a Please tell me that didn't happen when I was talking about the satanic stuff. Please tell me it wasn't like the moment I mentioned the satanic stuff. I wasn't paying any attention to you guys. That is crazy. No way. What? Oh, well. I feel like the wheat and the chaff are becoming so obviously separated. The battles are so the spiritual good versus evil, they're so obvious in front of our faces all the time. Somebody's like, Ben, your internet sucks. Yeah, it always, this one cut out the moment I talked about Satan. Last time it came out, I was about to advocate for there being a God based on cosmological evidence. Barb, I'm glad you like the book. That's fantastic. It might as well be Weatherman's Guide to the Sun 4, right? Those of you who have the book, especially if you have like the Weatherman's Guide to the Sun 3 or the earlier ones, this is basically Weatherman's Guide to the Sun 4 with a combined Next End of the World, fully updated to modern, right? I mean, that's really what the new book is. Mike at the ranch is texting, trying to distract me. Distracting me, Mike. Barb, do something about your husband. He's distracting me while I'm live on the internet talking to people or getting cut off while talking to people. One of those. Undercover Bird, so nice to meet you as well. Very informative. Thank you. I can't wait till this Saturday. Thanks for the book. You are quite welcome. And I can't wait for this Saturday either. By the way, the dates for next year for Adrian D'Amico, August Dunning, and the Ethical Skeptic coming to Observer Ranch are set. I know. The Ethical Skeptic is coming to Observer Ranch next year. That's going to be a weekend. We're definitely going to be filming that one. Anyway. What am I supposed to be doing? Answering questions, right? That's what I'm supposed to be doing right now. Ben, repeat the satanic stuff and see if it cuts out again. I was just saying that, I really just did. I did the standard complaining about how everything is fake and gay and satanic now. And I don't mean like the homosexual gay, although that's sometimes part of it. I mean like the way we used it when we were in middle school, when we weren't actually using it to describe gay people. Trying to move in the area next year, that'd be fantastic. We would love to have you around. Instead of buying land, what do you think of sailing? Could be worse. It's not going to be without its challenges, to be sure. You'll always be near food. You'll always be able to escape. If you can make it work, it's not terrible. Which town in Texas would you choose to survive? None of them. I'm not living in Texas for something like that. Think a little bit west of there. What part of Colorado am I in? I live in Colorado Springs, but my ranch is about an hour away. Come on, guys. What do we got here, question-wise? Did their attempts to take me off the air here momentarily, deflate all of the questions that you had in mind for this evening? Earth tips 90 degrees. It's one day. You ever considered the unlocking of the crust is temporary enough to keep a full 90 decrypt from fully occurring? I mean, I've considered that it'd be possible, but then it wouldn't explain any of the evidence. It has to be 90 degrees. Like, the goal is to explain as much evidence as you possibly can. We have finally crossed the Rubicon where we can explain all of the evidence. We just can't, as much as our imagination wants to go dancing on certain topics, we always have to remember, once we go outside of, oh, okay, that takes us out of being able to explain this core, undeniable piece of evidence, we have to abandon that path of thought. Aja, thank you. We're just all on it. Tell us about the defense classes. What do you want to know? Is there anything you can help me with? I need more help than you can possibly imagine on several fronts. What's going on with SDO? Some of their websites have, I know some of their websites haven't updated, but Lockheed's got everything on there. Don't worry. Where do you think I'm getting it for the morning news? Do you think there's a link between the South Atlantic anomaly and the higher percentage of trans folks in South America and South Africa? Is that true? I didn't know. Is that true? I have hypothesized that there's something going on there, actually, but that's interesting. I'm going to go with maybe if it's true. Maybe if it's true. Barb, comets are always kind of interesting, but, I remember Comet Siding Spring, Comet Ison, Comet Lovejoy, Comet Elenin. Every couple of years there's an interesting one, but when you look beyond some of the reasons why people are freaking out, you find there's normally not much there. I still think that that's probably going to be the case with these comets coming in now. Elenin got me too. Elenin was a serious thing. There were so many coincidences about Elenin that I was like, I was giving it a hard look till a CME pulverized it at perihelion and blew it into a million pieces. Like, I watched that happen on stereo. It was there, and then it wasn't. It was just gone, which was also interesting. A hut as shelter, covering it in plastic sheeting or liquid rubber. Yes, to everything. Navigirl 89. It's interesting. It's cool. Slow sand filter for purified water. I agree. That's a good one. Washington State, Columbia Basin region between Spokane and Kennewick. Oh, okay. I guess now we know where you are. Thank you for that. I'm sorry. I really went off on a tangent about Comet Elenin there, didn't I? Someone's asking a good question there. With the 30% shield drop percentage, any change to the predicted dates? No. Mostly because those dates were comporting with my guess that I've been making all year, which has been about 30% down. I kind of started saying that last year, actually. But yeah, no, I'm still pretty darn confident in the timeline, which is magnetic pole flip, late 2040s. Of course, things are going to get very, very bad before that. They're only kind of bad now. Do you think they're manipulating the data? Which data? Who is they? I have the hiccups. I almost never get the hiccups. What the fuck? What if it was 90 degrees? All right, no, I want to read that question. What if it was 90 degrees each time is cooler and requires more energy to do the work. Next time it's 80 degrees than 70. That'd be interesting, but it wouldn't explain the evidence. The evidence is 90 degrees tilt back and forth and back and forth. Are you looking at some evidence that I'm not seeing, or I don't know. If all the nations collectively agreed and tried to save the world and as much humanity as possible, how might that be accomplished? Asks Forefather. Could it be done this late in the game? I'm sure there's probably something you could do. The problem is, they already know, they already agree, and they've already been bought out the other way. So, like, is it within the realm of possibility? Yes, but we're sort of going in the other direction of that right now, and I don't see any reason why that's going to change, unfortunately. Oh, I scrolled too far like a dumbass. Me, WC, I like that teal pair. Blowing kisses. I'm going to just pretend that you blew that kiss at me because that would make me happy. Any thoughts on the Cosmic Ascension Day, October 30th? Absolutely none whatsoever. I hear crazy shit like that all the time. Do you have alternative communication chosen? Yes. Smoke signals. Reading some of these comments, some of you guys get into like these really interesting side conversations, and the thing is, like, I have to like scroll and like figure out, like, you people don't seem to have a problem figuring out who's talking to who, even when you're not using each other's names. Like, how are you keeping track of these conversations? Somebody asked me to explain induction. Honestly, just Google like a video explanation for induction. Like, the videos and explanations are so good on the internet. It's better than I could do. And you really do kind of need the visuals that they bring with it, which I don't have any way to do in front of you. Really, just do it. It's so easy. Smokey says, thank you for sharing the wisdom. For years, I've watched you confound the wise. One of a kind. Thank you very much, Smokey. That was a kind thing to say. David, I really like the Superman teal pair there. Captain Cadaver says, do you believe a Mylar lined house would help against EMP? I don't know enough about Mylar, to be honest with you. You know, like, I'm not a materials guy. If it's made of the right stuff, it could help. If you're asking that question, there's a chance you know as much about Mylar as I do. What was your runner-up location, and why not choose it? Runner-up location was northern New Mexico. I'm living in one of the best school districts in the country, and that's why I'm living where I am. There are lots of good survivable places up and down the New Valley of the Sun, stretching from Mexico up into Canada. Coin Dragon, I appreciate that. Thank you for that teal pair. Mark says cheers, and we cheers him right back. You remember when I was suspicious? Well, I'm still suspicious of many things, just not as many as I used to be, and some things I'm just black-pilled on at this point, which I guess is 2 steps beyond suspicious, unfortunately. Does this affect the timeline prediction? No, it doesn't. I answered that one just a couple minutes ago. Wyoming is off limits. That's funny. Yeah. This should be separated into physical prepping and tilt shift. Okay. You can feel free to segregate this in your mind as any way you want to. Grandpa Barbecuer says, hi, Ben. Do you know how wide the comet's tail is when it goes behind the sun? Could the tail interact with the sun, causing micronova? No, not even close. All right. What was the last thing I said? What was the last thing I said? Trying to stay in Arizona. What do you think of Flagstaff? I like Flagstaff. How's the book signing going? Shut up. My hand hurts. But we can only get out like a couple hundred every day. There's just two of us. And most of the time I'm signing and Kat is packing and taking stuff to the post office. And so between all the other stuff that we have to do during the day, we have 3 children, don't forget, and the ranch and tons of other stuff going on. We're doing the best we can, but we're only getting through a couple hundred a day, and we have 7,000 to get through. All right. You have a shooting range at the ranch right across the street, actually. Right across the street. Let's see here. Mylar. Comet tail. Well, I don't know. How many books were sold? 7,000. I'm signing as fast as I can. And on days when I have the kids, it's a miracle. I get the morning news done, and I get a second video out, and I get the research done that needs to happen. Very little happens on days when I have the kids. Starting tomorrow, I have them for 5 days in a row. I love it, but in terms of getting books out to you, things are going to slow a little bit the next 5 days. Jeff, your book is on the way? Well, that's fantastic. I'm not doing the auto pen. I don't need a vacation. I just need to unwind on my days off when I have them. It was a good weekend. We'll put it that way. All right. Do we have any other questions? Ben, was there a comet near the sun at the Carrington event? I'm not sure. I have no idea, actually. Thoughts about the highest ridges in the driftless area in Wisconsin? Cold, yes, but what about the flooding? It depends on their elevation, Sam. Do you remember the equation for knowing whether or not your location is going to be okay? Elevation in feet plus distance to the ocean in miles. If that number is over 5,000, you're solid. Now, if you're close to a lake, something to consider as well. But in general, that's the equation. And so you can type in the city where you live into Google and say, how many miles to the nearest ocean? It'll just give it to you. You can type in your city and elevation, and it'll tell you what your elevation is. You could just 30 seconds, you'll be done, and you'll know if you're good. Thank you, Ben. You're like a nephew I wish I had. Oh, that's cute, says Christ-Centered Keto. That's awesome. It's fantastic. All right, we're going to try to keep up with some of these things here. Mr. DJ says the fact they keep shutting down your stream means you're right. Got your book yesterday. I hope you enjoy it. So far, most of you who have your book are saying you enjoy it. I put effort into it. I did. Took me about 8.5 months to write it. And it's based on literally a decade of work. So I'm giving my book to my son for Christmas, says Captain Ron. I sent him to your event in Charlotte a couple years ago. No hurry for mine. Right on, Cap. That's awesome. Estrogen Acres. Can you admit that you don't really know what lands are going to rise and which ones are going to fall? Scriptures don't tell us. Oh, I've said before I don't. What do you mean admit you don't really know? I don't know how many times I've said that already. I have some ideas about certain places, But no, I'm sure that's part of the whole thing. It's just that there are going to be wild cards in this that you can't plan for. You want to plan for as much as possible. Could you, because, all right, so here's the thing. Just imagine God or fate or luck or whatever is on your side, and you come out the other side of this thing clean and smiling. Then you die because you have no idea how to live. You have no idea how to hunt or grow food or forage or no idea how to build shelter, no idea how to find water, no idea how to tell if, oh, I should drink that water, I shouldn't drink that water. Could you just imagine what an insult and a middle finger to God or fate or luck or whatever it would be? Just, no, Estrogen Acres, I don't know. And I've been saying that the whole time. All right, I've missed a couple here. Aja, hi for the book to come, but expected way later because I ordered late. I really am so sorry it's taking us a while. We're going to get, and yeah, it's probably going to go into October. I'm sorry, guys. Did you plan to record any of the winter tour? Probably not the winter tour, but I mean, like, for example, Ethical Skeptic at the ranch next year. Oh, yeah. We're going to record that. The combined pole shift conference and survival training, basically how to master the disaster. We're going to try to get that filmed as well. And a lot of that stuff will be able to be viewed. Is the geomagnetic induction fires going to get much worse? Yeah. Will there be more powerful hurricanes and typhoons with the poles shifting? Overall, maybe not. But we will see a lot more of the solar forced intensification events, I would have to say. Yeah. Well, that's a weird fucking comment. Ben has Obama ears. Do I have Obama ears? And what are Obama ears? I don't know what that means. Y'all gonna have me look up a picture of Obama when I get off the fucking live stream here. I don't know what that means. Trying to move from Houston to Colorado. It might take a couple years. Hope I get it there in time. God bless, and find a time to come up, check things out for a vacation one time at some point. Been watching you for over a decade, says Michael, and appreciate your work. I've purchased 2 books and looking forward to receiving them, but you take time for yourself. Wish. I take like maybe one evening a week for me, if I'm lucky. Sometimes I take 2. It all depends on how well schedules overlap. Is wool the best to wear during the disaster? Wool or cotton or linen? 100%. There's no guarantees about anything, but we do have to do our best to survive. Gail J. Dobbs. Truer words never were spoken. Fantastic. Dumpster Diving Dragons. Appreciate that. Did my score for Maine? It's below 500. Looks like floating. That is exactly true. Wow. I'm way behind. Holy crap. Brad says, you come to Oregon Coast if I paid the costs? Probably not, Brad. Sorry. Estrogen Acres. No, it's cool. I know you weren't trolling. Salty Traveling Sea. It's fantastic. Stay salty. New to the channel, just asked AI about the biggest danger we faced and found myself here. Are pole shifts and solar flares extinction level events, or more like hard resets and chaos? Hard resets and chaos, but that's what that's what we track, and we teach you how to survive. Travis Burks, thank you for that teal pair. That's fantastic. Michelle, hey Ben, been watching your Salt Knowledge for over 10 years. You've changed my life, and I missed your book. When can we buy them again? I'm imagining at some point in the next week or so, Kat is going to say, loose the arrows, and the PDF will be available. In terms of more physical copies, I don't know. Could be a very long time. Yeah. Holy cow. All right. I need to do some more catching up. Please explain solar forced blah blah. As in the sun does something and then something else happens. If I punch you in the face and you end up on the ground, knocked out, it was a fist forced knockout of you. Solar force means the sun caused it. Easiest thing. And you asked like a dick. You asked like a dick, I'm going to treat you like this. Fucking child. Where do you think you are? Any thoughts on weather patterns after the shift for New Valley of the Sun? By the way, if you can hear that noise, that is literally like my house is shaking from the wind right now. Any thoughts on Wyoming, Wind Rivers area, 8,400? I don't know anything about that area at all. I know that the southern half of the New Valley of the Sun is going to get all the rain at once. My analysis said that stopped somewhere around just south of Denver. So that would be like southern Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona areas. Yeah, I don't know enough about that part of Wyoming. Sorry. Your question killed the stream last time. But why, after learning about Earth cycles, shifts, and lost civilizations, do I lean towards Christianity and not spirituality like most observers? Yeah, Squirrel, that's the one that killed the live stream last time, isn't it? There's a preposterous amount of the Bible that describes Earth's disaster cycle in the exact way that I believe the math, the chemistry, and the physics demand that it's going to unfold. And I don't know how the hell that's possible. In terms, I think the way you asked it before, there was a bit more of the theism of the underlying idea. And that I think we should just say that I know these materia pretty well, but if you guys remember, if you've been with me, I also in 2011 called out they're never going to find dark matter, and specifically the weakly interacting massive particles, the WIMPs. I was like, I stake my entire intellectual future. They're never going to find them. And literally the world's best and hundreds of billions of dollars were like, we're weeks, maybe months away from finding it. And here we are. They not only haven't found it, they've pretty much stopped even trying to say they're going to find it. They've moved on to different kinds of particles that they've just invented out of thin air. But the reason why I was able to make that claim is because I understand both the subatomically tiny and the cosmologically vast much better than I should. I had an excellent teacher. And I don't see any evidence that what lies before us here in this realm is the result of billions of years of randomness, chaos, collisions, and gravity. I see engineering. I see intention. I see a genius beyond genius crafting and setting rules into motion. Not that they would have to come and tinker with this and tinker with that, but that this would set off this, and then this follows this rule, and these follow these rules, and then this sets off this in perfect harmony resonating, vibrating with each other so perfectly. It had to have been designed from the tiny all the way up to the cosmologically vast. And then, I was raised Presbyterian, and I'm to this day in shock of how much of what I believe not only is going to happen, but I believe I've damn near proven is how it's going to play out, is exactly what is described in the book. That is a faith-inducing set of things. What about Crocs? I don't know how to transition to Croc footwear from what the hell I just said. Sleep when you're dead. That's how I roll. I like that. You're the triple S's, smart, sexy, and salty. Aw, Barb, I want to give you a hug. Thank you. That was so nice. Ben is... Uh-oh, I scrolled too far. I do that sometimes. Ben, is it possible that the tilt of the Earth is connected to the orientation to the galactic current sheet? Consider a large iron deposit catching the sheet as we pass. I don't think so, but I need to think about it more, okay? And then I need to visualize a few things in my head. And I'd have to check on something to see how I should be visualizing it. But touche, Bradley, you made me think. Ben, for President 2040? No. In case you haven't noticed, I'm a bit of a PR nightmare. President, Jesus. Aja, thank you. Gotta love those teal pairs. Aja, I would hug you if you were here right now, too, by the way. Another one? It was like Aja got bored and she was like, no, I'm going to drop another teal pair in here. You get lots of hugs if I ever see you in person. Susie, what is up? Greetings from a 92-degree Las Vegas at 6:10 p.m. Leia and I are heading to the ranch tomorrow. Woo! We'll be there on Thursday. We are looking forward to cooler weather. Live like a Viking. Well, it's significantly cooler here, Susie, and I can't wait to see you both. John says, are you a prophet? You mentioned dreams. Are they shown anything else? I would never call myself a prophet. I've had some interesting dreams, yeah. I don't think that's... I don't think I'm a prophet. And I think that a lot of people get visions of things like that. Where's the ranch, Ben? You can't Google Observer Ranch. It's in Penrose, Colorado. Catherine Maschetti. Perhaps Ben for tribal leader. I would make a much better post-apocalyptic warlord than I would president of the United States. Let's put it that way. Far, far better. Penrose, be there this weekend. Fantastic. I can't wait to see you guys this weekend. That's awesome. Buy some of our wonderful merchandise while you're at the ranch. If you survive off-grid for 10 years when the micronova happens, will you be ready as long as you're in a safe tsunami score era? Nothing is guaranteed, but it's plausible. When is Footloose sequel coming out? The question we all want the answer to, right there. The question we all want the answer to. I know you want a book. Hi, Center G. I'm sorry if you haven't gotten it yet. Tell us one of your dreams. You want to know what time of the day I was born as well? And in what city? You read my moon chart? I'm sorry. I didn't mean for that to come out that way. But no, I don't want to talk about my dreams. I've done that. And I'm tired. I want to go to bed soon. I think you'll likely be remembered as a prophet. I don't think I'm going to be remembered at all. You've changed my life for the better and helped to solidify my faith in God. Well, John, that's about the greatest thing somebody could say to another person. Thank you. Wow. And the name of your first pet. Maui. That's not the answer to any password thing I have, so I don't mind telling you. Is that a new tattoo? No, I haven't got a new tattoo in a minute. I'm the real life Grunkle Stan from Gravity Falls. I don't know what that. What the hell does that mean? Is that another Obama ears thing? So I have Obama ears and I'm like the real life Grunkle Stan from Gravity Falls. That's fantastic. Have any of your NASA contacts spoken about the message received from the sudden Back to Life Voyager 2 that it was incapable of sending based on its 70s technology? I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. I haven't heard anything about that at all, actually. Kimberly, thank you for that teal pair. I appreciate that. So I guess, Grandpa, the answer to that would be no. No, I haven't heard anything about that at all. Nate Dog Actual says, loving the broader line. Guile hairdo from Street Fighter. Okay. Is this a Street Fighter hairstyle? I don't know. I knew this would be easy. There's no doubt that's definitely easy. Is Walden too much of a water basin? I don't know what Walden is. How's the cut going? I'm down about 8 pounds. I'm trying to squeeze 3 more pounds out of this last week here. Is there any evidence that Earth doesn't go back to the same 2 pole positions every 12,000 years? No. Bought 3 hoodies today, so cozy. What's your Venus sign? I don't know. It's a good question. I have no idea. What's funny is, like, I have been read, like, my planets and my moon and whatever and all that other shit so many times, and I'm just never listening. I'm just never listening at all. So, do I ever get depressed knowing what's coming? No, I don't get depressed at all. How could I get depressed? Do you understand? Do you want to give your thoughts again on the world at the moment being a direct reflection to our current magnetic state? No, not really. Because I think that I get blanked again. You're looking younger these days. You wouldn't believe how often I hear that in person. And of course, you'll be remembered. Your community is most likely to consist of those who will survive. That would be the only way, actually. Because if there's like a ton of observers who survive, like the fact that you're an observer is going to be like something you talk about. And like at some point down the line, like there's a chance that you guys are going to start running into each other, or your children will, and they will have heard daddy or mommy tell stories about it. That would be the only way I could get remembered. But there's more important things like getting your kids into the next stage of Earth. What is one piece of evidence that when you came across saw you realized that Doug Vogt got the zones wrong and the crustal displacement is happening? So I knew it was that he was wrong the moment he first explained it to me, because I had already gone through the evidence and seeing that you need the tilt like that. And mathematically, there's no way to stop the Earth and have it go back the other way. We're completely in Fantasia and magical Harry Potter world at that point. As cool as that would be, there's math problems there. But your heart is so big. Oh, thank you. That's nice. Some of you guys are very nice. Are you Charlie Kirk? I wish I was half the man Charlie Kirk is. Why did I say is? Because I'm on X, formerly known as Twitter, where he's still alive. Literally, no. But For all intents and purposes, Charlie Kirk is not gone. If you know, you know. If you're on the internet of any fair bit, nah, he's not dead. He may be, his soul may have gone somewhere else. He may be lying restfully in a casket, but he's not he's not dead. And that's so um lightning strikingly obvious. If you know, you know. Aja, big hugs back. You inspired me to actually read the Bible, and I've been regular watch since 2013 or so. Loved seeing the channel grow. Me too, Aja. Appreciate that. Okay. Wow. All right. Scrolling. Down 9 pounds and 4 inches off the waist. How about that, Susie? Had to buy new pants. Such a good problem to have. That is a good problem to have. We're Ben's illegitimate salty stepkids. Michelle, I like it. I'll take it. We are all Charlie Kirk. You know what? To that extent, yes. But he was a much better man than I am. By the way, we have to dance around with our words on the super chats. There are blocked words that prevent us from sending questions. Really? I didn't know that. That's brutal. I'm sorry to hear that. Elton Taft says Wind Rivers are 60 miles southeast of Yellowstone. They have found stone houses of 200 plus as far back as 6,000 years and lasted at least 4,000 years. Okay, that's interesting. Is that directly downhill from Yellowstone? In general, that area is not terrible. You just don't want to be too close or directly downhill of it. It's probably not going to have an explosive eruption, but an effusive one is certainly not off the table. If we somehow melted one of the ice caps, we could it prevent the shift? In theory, but it would cause something just as terrible. I mean, that level of a Heinrich event, that's also NOAA level flooding right there. And you're not going to stop Earth's magnetic changes or any of the other things. It would not be good. And that rapid of a shock change in salinity to the oceans might kill them. That's something to think about too. Erica, appreciate that. Thumbs up, Teal Pear. Aja, dropping them all over the place. I love it. If you were to try to wake up friends and family with a single piece of evidence that they could observe, what would it be? The auroras last year were a good example. Another one will come at some point. You never know what the next piece of evidence is going to be. I could name 9 things, and then the 10th thing that slips my mind right now, that'll be the next one that happens. Have you seen the Oasis Bio Homes, based on Earthship homes, but built with fiber-reinforced polymer? They get covered with 6 inches or so of soil, cheap, fast to build. I have not seen those, but that sounds really interesting. If somebody wants to send me a link to the Oasis Bio Homes thing, I would check that out because that sounds cool. Aja, thank you so much. You're just like awesome. If I build a bunker, will the rebar in the concrete turn it into an oven from solar flares? If I go deep enough, could that work? Could you use something other than rebar in concrete? And it's not about how deep you go. Going deep doesn't stop induction. This is not a line of sight type thing. You don't want to go too deep. You want to be relatively close to the surface, but have a covering. Anyway. Besides Jimmy Corsetti, you, Ben, are becoming my newest guru. You know, Jimmy's a good friend of mine. but sometimes he gets so into his shit that he's a little unreliable. Like the stuff he's doing, like the reporting on Göbekli Tepe is fantastic. He's amazing. But I can't get this guy to like commit to a weekend at Observer Ranch next year. I couldn't get him to the ranch this year. I love Jimmy, but he's like that friend that you, yeah, Jimmy. Everybody, why don't you embed yourself up Jimmy Corsetti, Bright Insight's ass until he agrees to come to Observer Ranch next year? I love you, Jimmy. I'm sorry for what's going to happen because I just did what I did. It's probably going to be kind of funny. I'm only a little sorry. Teal pairs. Are north and south ice caps roughly the same mass? I don't know, but I know that they're tilted off in the exact same direction. So you've got Greenland on one side as being the thing that weighs too much, and on the other side, it's Antarctica south of Australia. So basically, what you've got is them on opposite sides wanting to tilt like that anyway. So if you've melted one, the other one's still going to want to tilt the same direction. Extra tip for the signed book. You're very welcome, Wesley. Although the deal was I was going to sign the pre-orders, but yeah, happy to do it. Undercover Bird, that's cute. I like that. What's the expected probable time gap between the micronova and crustal lock? 18, 24 hours, maybe. Du Bois, or is that dubious? Du Bois, Wyoming, about 80 miles. Jackson, yes, spent about 15 years in Yellowstone. It broken. Doesn't mean we won't see possible volcano. Prevailing winds are southwest to northeast. They are now, Elton. They are now. Who knows after things start shifting a little more. And I guess we're having a geomagnetic storm because I can see aurora right now up here in Quebec. Is that so? Let me see if we are in a geomagnetic storm. It doesn't look like it. Let me look at the magnetometer real quick. No, I mean, I don't see anything that suggests we're in a geomagnetic storm. What material would you recommend for a bunker top? Soil. If you can drive a vehicle over the top, and I don't mean like park a truck on top of it for a month. I mean, can you drive a car over top of it? You'll be fine. Big auroral plume over Hudson Bay right now. Really? I wonder if that's Russell McPherson effect, actually. We're within like 24 hours of when that should be happening. Russell McPherson effect, actually. Day before or after the equinox, actually. Anyway. All right, guys. It's been an hour. I will see you in the morning for the daily show. Thanks for coming out tonight. And be safe, everyone.